What is it that is stopping me from doing what I need to do in order to prioritize my self-care? Because if you don't do it, no one else will. Hello, and welcome to 2025 Mental Health Awareness Month podcast series. Today's topic is preventing burnout. My name is Latisha B. Russell, and I'm an executive coach and leadership development expert. I specialize in authenticity and self-awareness. Burnout is more than just feeling tired. It is that psychological phenomenon characterized by emotional exhaustion. It is that period where you are mentally drained and exhausted. It affects performance. It's an overwhelming sense of stress. It is really unlike temporary fatigue. It's not just, I'm a little tired now. Like, what do I do about it? But it's that burnout and being chronic. It is significantly impacting your mental and emotional health. And so when you think about those moments where you might get up and you're wondering what is really going on, it's not pushing through. A lot of times we feel like, okay, we're just going to push through. I can get this done. But I challenge you to pause for a moment. I challenge you to sit back for a moment just to simply say, is this a feeling of burnout? And if it is this a moment where I really need to sit back and take care of myself? What is it that I can do? So let's talk about those quick checks and those things that you can do so that you can really help and navigate some of those moments where you might feel like you're burned out. I just said it. Pause for a moment. Simply take a moment to say, let's take myself out to dinner, right? Do I just need to utilize some PTO? Many times we are afraid to say, I just need a day off. We're afraid of the work piling up. We're afraid of allowing someone else to step in for us. But let me tell you that it is absolutely okay to have those moments where someone else steps in to just simply say, let me help you. Let me give you a hand. On a scale of 1 out of 10, how's your energy level right now? Right. And that's where I want you to say, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, am I at a 1 or am I at a 10? How frequently do you find yourself zoning out at work? And how hopeful do you feel about your job in this moment? That's not to say that you don't like or you don't enjoy what you do, but that is a moment where you could potentially be stressed out or burned out. It's that chronic fatigue that we talked about. It's that irritability. Someone says something or does something and it's not them, but it is because you are running on fumes. And so you might be experiencing burnout. Burnout is truly a personal issue that impacts so many of us in the workplace. It leads to increased absenteeism, decreased productivity, higher turnover rates. That doesn't even address the physical part of it. It manifests itself in headaches, consistent fatigue, emotionally contributing to anxiety and even depression. So how do we break that cycle? Stretch it out. Even simple stretches can release some of the tension. Deep breathing exercises are some other things that you could potentially do. How many of us exercise, even going for short walks in the morning before our day starts? How many of us block our calendars, even for, let's call it 10 minutes at a time? You can use those moments for what we consider admin schedule or admin time. But even doing things like that, give yourself permission to engage in self-care activities. Again, whether it's taking hobbies, whether it's socializing, if you are one that works from home, it's harder, right? It's even more of a challenge because we're home. We don't have the day-to-day interactions of individuals in the office. And so you might find that it could be a little bit more challenging. And so this is what I want you to do, and this is what I want you to consider. When you think about prioritizing your well-being, when you think about prioritizing you, I want you to prioritize sleep. Sometimes, yes, it's difficult, but how many of us say at 7 o'clock, we're going to turn off all devices, right? We're going to turn off all devices. We're not going to look at social media. We're not going to look at emails. We're not going to do any of that because now I'm going to prioritize adequate sleep. And so being able to turn off devices at a decent time frame will help us with that. How many of us, maybe we plan out our meals. So nourishments, and then engaging in just those enjoyable activities that we could do. And so maybe you all don't necessarily enjoy exercising, but just simply getting out for a walk, taking yourselves out. What I want you to do is draft up an email. I want you to think about this exercise. And I want you to draft up an email. And what I want you to do is I want you to put in the to field you. The email is ultimately scheduled for you and it's going to come back to you. I want you to schedule it for 30 days out. I don't want you to do any more than 30 days out. When you get the email back, it's going to force you to reflect, and it's going to force you to pause. So here's what I want you to do in the body of that email. I want you to type up what is your commitment to yourself to prevent burnout. Perhaps it's setting boundaries. Perhaps it's prioritizing self-care. Maybe it is seeking support when needed. I want you to then type that out. It doesn't have to be a lofty, long paragraph. It could be a few lines. Now, if you want to do a lengthy paragraph, you can. But I don't want you to overwhelm yourself by feeling like you've got to type out this long, lengthy email while this is really still new for you, right? So it's bite-sized pieces. And when you schedule that email, I want you to schedule it for 30 days out again, and then I want you to hit send. Now, you will likely forget that you've sent this email to yourself. And when the email comes back to you in 30 days, I want you to ask yourself, did I honor the commitment to myself, right? Did I honor the commitment to prioritize self-care, to set boundaries, to do the things that truly bring me joy, to allow me to reflect on who I am outside of my title and outside of work? Did I honor that commitment? And then when you get it back, sit still, sit in a corner, sit alone. And if your answer is yes, congratulations. And if your answer is, not necessarily, I didn't really honor the commitment to myself, then I want you to ask yourself, what is it that is stopping me from doing what I need to do in order to prioritize my self-care? Because if you don't do it, no one else will. And so a few things to just think about as you navigate burnout. So just that powerful exercise that I want you to consider. And so prioritizing will bring you joy. Prioritizing gives you the energy that you need to accomplish day after day. Prioritizing allows you to truly assess what's important and what matters. So additional things that you can think about around well-being and basic self-care. Again, it's getting sleep, it's eating right, it's exercising, it is spending time with your loved ones. And then finally, I want you to remember the power of connection. The moment to reflect on, even if it's one actionable step. You don't have to take 10 things, but one actionable step that you can do to commit this week to reduce burnout in your life. And then before we close, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on what is it that you can do in the next 5 minutes that maybe you haven't done over the course of the last week or 2 weeks, right? And maybe that is blocking your calendar for 10 minutes today just to say, I am just going to use this time to be. Because in the middle of the day, I'm running, I'm checking emails, I'm responding to calls, I'm doing things for everyone else. And by the end of the day, I am so burned out that I have absolutely nothing else to give. So what is it that you will do right now in this moment? And if you're struggling or need support, please contact your EAP or behavioral health resource provided by your insurance. And I will challenge you to take advantage of the resources that are given to you, that are provided to you. So many times we have the resources, but we don't always take advantage of them for so many different reasons. And so I hope today you were able to gather something out of today's podcast around burnout. If nothing else touched you today, when you get that email back in 30 days, did you simply honor the commitment that you set to yourself? And I hope the answer is yes. And if the answer is no, let's take baby steps so that you can get to where you need to be whole and healthy. I am Latisha B. Russell.